Hey there. Let's see, is this gonna work? Always the question. Hi, Pippa. Thanks for demonstrating. Oops. Let's turn this on. Hi, Pips. You gonna do some yoga? You can stay right there for now. That looks good on my end. I'm going to be back. If anybody's listening, I'm going to be back in about, let's see, 3 or 4 minutes. And then we'll get started on the half hour. Hey, looks like I have a few people here. We still have a few more minutes until we start, but we could use this time to chat. It's pretty lonely here in the house. I'm just here with my dog Pippa, who might make an appearance. So it's so fun to think about being able to connect with you guys in this way. While we're waiting, let's see, what time is it? We got a couple more minutes. So while we're waiting, if you can hear me, please put a little comment into the chat box to let me know that you can see me and hear me. All's good. And then I'd also love to hear, as I always ask in the beginning of class, hi Elizabeth, everything good? I want to know where you're watching from. This technology stuff is amazing. We can connect from anywhere. So I know I usually have some people from the west coast of the United States, someone from Tobago. Are you here today? In Australia, it's Saturday morning. Any Australians here this morning? Afternoon, morning, evening? I absolutely love the reach that Yoga Download has. I've made connections with people all over the world. I feel so honored and so lucky to be part of this amazing company. Yay, I love having you here, Elizabeth. Thank you, thank you. Great. And the consistency that these classes provide us in this time when everything else is just very uncertain. Hi, was that Carol? Thanks for being here from San Diego. So for me, you may know that I'm mostly a massage therapist. Hi, Mom from Oregon. And when the pandemic hit, I quit doing massage, at least for now, and lost a lot of my income and also lost a lot of my human connection, of course, as most of us did, and lost a lot of consistency in my schedule. So for me personally, just having this class every Friday afternoon has been such a blessing. So while we wait, I just wanted to let you guys know that some of you know my dog Pippa and the way that she loves to protect us when the mailman comes. The mailman has not come yet, so we may hear her. Right now she's just conked out on the couch. Pippa and I both desperately need haircuts, and that will happen this week. And I'm also going to put something up on the window so she doesn't see things too much. So I'll be right back. I'm actually using a couple of my paintings to put on the windows. I've been painting birds, which reminds me that next week I think we will work towards bird of paradise pose in honor of these birds I've been painting. So they are doubling right now as blocks, so Pippa can't see other dogs. Okay, if you haven't told me where you're watching from, go ahead and write that in the comments. I'm eager to hear where you are, and then we'll get started in about 60 seconds. Where are you watching from? I'm here in Denver. It's been hot and beautiful. I've had the windows open. There's some flies circling around. A little distraction. Okay. All right, we've got about a good group of people here. So today we will be doing a session that will be very much moving with intention, intuition, fluidity. So this would actually be a really good day to put on some music. We will not be concerned with alignment so much, never concerned with creating a perfect pose. Today's class will be a mixture between two classes that I have on Yoga Download, Mindful Movement and Joyful Joint Release. So if you haven't checked those out and you enjoyed today's class, please go ahead and find them on the site, Mindful Movement and Joyful Joint Release. And if you're wanting something a little more alignment-based, a little more exerting, effortful, come back next week and we'll work towards Bird of Paradise pose. Also, as a little announcement, I don't think I've talked today. As an announcement for next week, I'm going to be doing two really special things in June. And those are actually free coaching sessions. So before this class, so it'll be 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, I'll be hosting coaching through the YouTube channel. And this will be about bringing in the mindfulness, the emotional and mental piece Hi, Mindy in Southern California. So for these Fridays, for these Friday afternoon sessions, I've been really trying to just keep it to asana, to the physical piece. I know personally I've been a little bit overwhelmed with trying to figure out everything in my head and then feeling all the emotions in my heart. However, I think it's time to start to bring in that other piece. We all need to be in our bodies, but then through coaching, we can also start to manage our mind, identify the emotions that have been coming up during this pandemic, and go from there. So if you're interested in just seeing what that's going to be like, I'll be offering that 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time before this class next Friday, and then also Friday, June 12th. All right, let's get started. Go ahead and come onto your mat. Put on a little gentle music if you'd like. You know, I don't think I'll be using props today, but I do have this little hand towel for underneath my knees. That might be nice for you too. Water, whatever you need. And let's just start in a seat. So again, if you're just joining us, this is going to be a real quite mellow, juicy, movement-oriented class, not concerned with alignment so much. We're just going to use the intuition, use the breath, with the intention of cleansing stress and stagnation and tension from the body, mind, and spirit to start the weekend off on the right foot. Some of us have a 3-day weekend. So go ahead and settle into your seat. Turn your palms up on your knees. Make a little circle with first finger and thumb. As you close down your eyes, lengthen your spine, draw your head back over your shoulders and your shoulders back over your hips. Then relaxing all the muscles of your face, including your jaw and temples. Soften that space between the eyebrows. Perhaps gently tilting your chin just subtly downwards to lengthen the back of your neck. And then you might allow the corners of your mouth to turn up in a little half smile. Let's take a couple breaths here, setting the intention for practice today. I told you my intention, but whatever your intention is, let it bubble up to the surface. Know it's absolutely perfect. And then keeping in mind why you're choosing to be on your mat today, let's come into child's pose together. I'm so glad you're all here, by the way. So join me in child's pose. Bring your hips back down towards your heels, bring your forehead to the earth. And then in today's practice, as we're just getting some movement in the body, you can just roll a little side to side so that you're giving your third eye area a massage, that space between the eyebrows. You could take your hips a little side to side, your rib cage. As you're here, you could also turn your palms up in a gesture of receptivity, just allowing whatever blessings to come. Or you could take this time to roll out your wrists. We'll be getting the wrists again later, of course. Throughout class today, I really want you to do whatever feels good in your body. So that's a practice of really tuning in, noticing what feels nurturing for you. So if I instruct anything that doesn't feel good, do something that feels better to you. Good. And then we're going to do our chakra balasana. So some of you may recognize this from past classes. Find your breath. With the inhalation, rise to cow pose. Roll your shoulders back, lengthen the belly, and lift the heart. With the exhalation, we're going to pull it back to child's. Round through the spine, tuck chin to chest, hips to heels. Inhale, it's like you're scooping forward. You could even feel the hands pull back on the earth. Exhale, rounding back, push the hands forward and draw your hips to heels. Let's do that 3 more times. And the next time your hips come back down to your heels, come back to child's pose, forehead resting down. And then you could sweep your hands back along the earth and bring the hands behind your back. Hopefully I still fit in the screen. We're going to lift the hips up. Again, you may recognize this from a flow we did a couple weeks ago. As you let the head hang back into the cradle of the shoulders, lift your hips up, tuck your tailbone under, and then let's flow through this. So simply hips down, head up, hips up, head back. Let's do that a couple more times. So you're waking up your glutes, stretching the quads, opening the shoulders. One more time like this. As the hips come down, take your hands forward. Tuck your toes underneath. This is one thing I love to do with the feet, especially early in the morning. We're just going to rock back and forth. So your heels might not come all the way down, that's fine. As the knees touch down, cat pose, lift the heart. As the heels move towards the earth, cow pose, round. Again, if a squat doesn't work for you, find something that feels better in your body. What's most important for our session today is that you keep breathing and keep moving. Let this be your mindful movement, your meditation. Good, and then coming into all fours now, bring the hands to the earth, lift up your feet, roll out your ankles. Maybe you can hear mine snap, crackle, pop a little bit. Crunch up your toes. If it feels good, you could pat the tops of the feet to the ground. Oh, Pippa heard that. It's okay, Pips. And then from here, let's just take the hips in circles. Or maybe figure eights would feel good. Getting some lubrication through those deep ball and socket joints of the hips. If you're doing circles, go ahead and switch directions. Maybe you'd like to get the low back involved. Coming back to center, keep your palms on the ground, but turn your fingers to face back towards your knees. And then let's just do little pulses forward and back to stretch the wrists. If you've been on the computer a lot this week, that should feel really good. Good, bad, bad, good. And then maybe you can draw your hips back a little bit more and really stretch the front of the wrist there. And then we'll come up. You may need to do one hand at a time. Take the top of your hand onto the ground, fingers facing back towards the knees. This time I want to glue the top of my hands to the ground, but then bring a little weight forward and then back, forward and back. And I can't move very far. You might get a little more range of motion here. Oh yeah. All right, let's release, hands back to the earth. Take your right hand forward. And then slow, big sweep the arm. Let your gaze follow the hand. So we're going to make big circles with the arm. The head and neck will follow. And you may feel some movement in the hips here too. That's absolutely fine. Let's do one more big sweep up. This time when the hand comes all the way up, go ahead and dive it under the left elbow and armpit, coming onto the right shoulder and right ear. So this is what we call thread the needle. Now in thread the needle pose, really allow some weight to come into that right side. And then just for today's purposes, you may just want to keep wiggling a little bit. Take the hips side to side. See what happens to that space underneath the right shoulder blade when you move around, maybe forward or back. One more breath here. Exhale, get heavier. With the inhalation, come back to all fours. And then let's do that same thing, left side, left arm forward, and then all the way up and around. Keep your eye on your hand. This will help you get some nice neck circles as well. Slow motion like you're moving through mud. The next time your arm comes all the way up, stretch, and then thread the needle. Left elbow, left arm, left ear to the ground. I'm going to move around in ways that feel good, specifically to get underneath that left shoulder blade area. This is the subscapularis, an area that can get really, really tight. It's part of the rotator cuff. So as we stretch it, also use your breath to irrigate that area, bringing in prana, vitality, openness, ease. Good, come up slowly. And let's bring the knees together, ankles together, tuck the toes underneath. Sit back under the heels. So here we are opening up the soles of the feet again. If this doesn't work for you, you could just keep some weight into the hands or even just lift your hips up a little bit higher. So if your hands are not touching the earth, you could practice some big arm circles. Working open the shoulders. Real gentle with those shoulder joints. They have a lot of range of motion, but they can also be quite unstable. And then fingertips behind the back, interlace them, roll the shoulders back, lift up through the heart and drop your chin to the chest. Then draw your right ear to your right shoulder, chin back to chest, left ear to left shoulder, chin back to chest, release the arms, reach high, and then let's come onto all fours once again. Again, today's class is really just about moving through the joints, letting the body feel good. We're not really working with traditional poses. You won't hear any Sanskrit from me today. So let's move into downward facing dog. Take it slow, lifting hips up and back. Allow the head to drop. And then shake out your head a little bit. Yes, no, maybe. This could be a nice time to flutter your lips if you like that kind of stuff. Like, that feels like a real nice release of my facial muscles, so you could try that. And then you could also paddle out the heels here, bending one knee and then the other. So really adapting the session for whatever feels good in your body. Maybe you've been working in the garden or sitting on the computer. Maybe, like me, you haven't been sleeping well, so you just want to take it nice and easy. You could also bend both knees to re-straighten. And then go ahead and walk your feet forward towards your hands to hang and dangle pose. I like to separate my feet a little bit further than hip width distance apart. Make soft fists and place them into the crooks of your elbows, and just let your upper body hang like dead weight. Really relax the muscles of the neck. They may help to shake out the head a little bit. And then let's just bounce a little bit by bending the knees and re-straightening the legs. Bend, re-straighten. Using the breath. Allow the spinal column to be tractioned here. Good. And then either with straight legs or bent knees, doesn't matter. You can start to sway your upper body side to side. Maybe little figure eights here. Maybe you're swaying so much that the forearms line up with the long edge of the mat. If that's the case, maybe you could stay, hold, breathe into the low back. Try the other side. And then let your sways slow down and come back to center. Release your arms, let them hang. Bend your knees quite generously, tuck your tailbone under. And then we're going to slowly roll up through the spine, articulating all the little joints of the spine as we uncurl. Take your time, slow motion. Eventually the head will stack over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Good. I think I'm cutting off my head here, so I'm going to walk back a little bit. You don't need to see my head here. This is much more about how you feel than the way I look. So let's just take the feet a little wider. I'll turn towards you. We're going to take some big hip circles here. Again, that ball and socket joint of the hip can be really stuck and sticky. Maybe there's a little clicking or catching. See if you can slow and smooth these circles out. Now, we have a tendency when we're moving to the hips to actually move through the torso, right? So see if you can keep your torso in one place and really just use those hips, like you're a hula hoop dancer or a belly dancer. Soft bend in the knees is absolutely fine. Go ahead and switch directions. I often say that the motion is the lotion, and sometimes I say the motion is the lotion to heal the emotion. Kind of cheesy, but it's true. When we move, we can get rid of the stuff, the emotional gunk that's been stuck, right? And then on a physiological sense, when we move through the joints, we're bringing synovial fluid through them and allowing more range of motion. So now bring your feet right underneath your body. Come up onto the toes of one foot, and then keeping the toes on the ground, just roll out through the ankle. Switch directions. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Again, if it's not your cup of tea, come back next week. We're going to do something so different. Now we're going to come up onto the left leg. If you need to hold on to something, feel free. And then let's just fling and flick through that right leg. So maybe you're getting some motion and some clicking and some cracking through the toes, ankles, and knee. Right foot comes down, come up onto the toes of the left and circle out through the ankle. Switch directions. And come up onto that right foot and just fling and flail the leg a little bit. Yeah. All right. I'm going to come back onto my mat. I know my head isn't really fitting into the screen, but that's okay. Let's bend the knees. And then as we straighten the legs, reach the arms big, circle a few more times like this. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms, straighten the legs. One more time. Again, moving with the breath. Interlace the hands behind the back. Roll your shoulders back. Soft bend through the knees, and then lift your heart up. Nice deep breath here. With the exhalation, straighten the legs, press your hips forward, lift through the heart, lift through the gaze, and take that one fist down your back into a back bend. Yeah, release, and come on up. Shake out the wrists. You could do a little chopping, a little waving, a little splashing, and then just like we did with the legs, let's do the same thing with the arms. So joyful joint release. Just letting that elbow, wrist, fingers, shoulder, woof. It's almost like you're flicking off the stress from your arm. Let's do the other one. And shoulders up, back and down. Up, back and down. One more time, up, back and down. Take the arms up overhead, big power pose, reach for the fingers, separate the feet, and then like we do sometimes in my back bend classes, we're going to grab onto an imaginary pull-up bar and pull it down by bending the elbows and lifting the heart into a back bend again. Keep the arms bent, nice stance through the legs, and then we'll take a twist. So inhale one direction, doesn't matter which way. Exhale the other. You can come up onto your toes. We're breathing in and out through the nose, so it looks and sounds like this. Go ahead and join me. It's quick, it's vigorous, it's moving the energy up the spine. This is from the Kundalini tradition. It should be fun. If you're getting dizzy, you could close your eyes. That sometimes helps. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Imagine cleansing and cleaning and making room for new, fresh energy. Let's take it a little bit faster for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Woo! Reach the arms up, power pose, eyes open. Big breath in, hold at the top. With the exhalation, right hand down, left arm over. So it's sort of a side bend, sort of a triangle. It doesn't matter how it looks. Let's take it to the other side. One hand down, other arm up. And now we'll speed it up a little bit. Use your breath. Inhale to lift you, exhale to side bend. We're working through all the joints of the body today, moving the spine in all of its directions. Such a good thing to do every single day. This is like getting your oil changed in your car. It's kind of the same thing with your body. Lubing it up. Let's take it one more time to each side. And then come back to center, palms to heart. Just take a moment to close the eyes. Find the breath. Maybe a little water break. We'll do a couple more semi-vigorous things and then really slow it down. All right, last thing here in standing. So power pose again, reach high. With the exhalation, drop your hips, bend the knees, fingertips down. Doesn't matter how far down you go. Inhale up, push through the feet, explode. Exhale, bring it all back and down. You might even huddle in. Inhale, expand, let it go. Exhale, bring it in. Exhale, inhale, give it away. Exhale, come down. It really doesn't matter which way you inhale and exhale. I just want you to use the breath and let it feel fun. Let's do 3 more. As you come up, imagine just releasing all of your gifts into the universe. As you come down, draw all the energy back into you. Good job. Downward facing dog. Ground your hands, ground your feet. Lengthen your breath. With the next inhalation, reach your right arm up, right leg up into the sky and bend the knee. Now, just like we did last week in our hips class, go ahead and circle out your knee from here. Switch directions. Oh, I'm out of breath. And now, go ahead and step your right foot forward between your hands. As always, you may need to take a few little steps, and that's totally fine. Here we are in a lunge. So I like to move in my lunge a little forward and back. And just like we did in last week's class, we could come from lunge into a half splits by straightening the right leg, pulling the hips back. So let's do it with the breath. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, heart to knee. Inhale. Exhale, back. Now this time we're going to do it a little bit differently. As we come forward, roll over onto the pinky side of the foot and let your right knee come out to the side. So it's kind of like what people call atomic pigeon pose. So this is the inhalation. Exhale, back into half splits, toes peel up. Inhale, atomic pigeon-ish. Exhale, back. One more time, getting into that outer hip. And let's pull it back, hamstrings. Downward facing dog, take the right foot back with grace and ease, if possible. And inhale the left leg up. Bend the knee and start to circle out that knee and hip. One direction, and then the other. And then step the foot forward, find your lunge, take your time. Reconnect with the breath. Inhale, heel back, heart forward. Exhale, straighten the left leg, toes peel up off the ground, we bow forward. Let's move through that a few times. Again, if this pace is too fast, you just find what works for you. This is your practice. Okay, and now we're going to change it up a little bit as we come forward. I'm moving my hands towards the inside of the foot, and then I'm going to come onto the pinky side of the foot and let the left knee splay out to the side. Now as I drag the hips back, I square the foot again and straighten the leg. So inhale into our atomic pigeon pose. Exhale, half splits, half monkey pose. Come on through that a couple more times. I'm so curious to hear how you're doing, how this pose, this class feels to you, rather. And then we'll take it back to downward facing dog. Go ahead and drop to your knees, coming into child's pose, untuck the toes. Softly bend your elbows, drape your upper body, let your forehead rest. One more breath here. Then rise the hips, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. This time as we reach the right leg up, with the exhalation we'll come to regular pigeon. So right knee towards right wrist, drape the shin down. Doesn't matter what this looks like. What I want it to feel like is a nice deep tuggy sensation through the outer right hip. Then we'll take the hands wide. Come up onto the fingertips. Inhale, lift the heart, little cow pose here with the exhalation. Bow forward, make this your dance. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, surrender. One more time up, everyone. Place the hands down. Step back for downward facing dog. Other side, left leg lifts. Bring the knee forward and through. Take your time. Set up pigeon pose with the hands wide. Come up onto fingertips, lift the heart. Find your breath. With the exhalation, bow forward. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time up. And now this time we'll just come into all fours. So that left knee can come back. Find the breath. Maybe take a moment to close your eyes. And then go ahead and reach your right arm back, right arm forward. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Never mind, take both hands to the ground. I'm just making this up as we go. Lift up your right leg. Yeah, take a little hamstring curl here. And then we're going to open up to the long edge of the mat so the right hand will come up off the ground. Go ahead and reach back for the right ankle. So this is a little Chipasana variation of side plank. You've got the right hand on the right ankle or foot kicking back to stretch that quad. Then I'm going to reach the right arm up and the right leg out. Let's bring the right sole of the foot to the ground. And then as if you're sweeping the arm through water, take it up and over and arch your spine. Release that hand to the ground. We'll do the other side. So bring right knee back to the left. Lift up the left leg. Little hamstring curl here. Get a little tension and activation through the glute and hamstring. Then rolling over onto the right knee, right hand, left hand comes back. Clasp that foot, give it a little kick. Then extend leg and arm. Nice strong pose. Foot can come down, reach your arm up overhead. Take a little side body stretch as you reach up and over. Let's do that one more time on each side, picking up the pace a little bit. Right leg up, roll to the long side of the mat, grab the foot, kick, extend leg and arm. Foot comes down as arm comes up and overhead. One more time, slow and smooth, just for fun. Good job. All right, so meeting back in all fours, let's roll over onto the bottom for cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. You can scoot your feet back or hips forward until they're pretty close together. And then most of you will probably have your knees a little closer to the ground than mine are. I want you to take one elbow into the knee and just lean yourself over that way. Let the knee come down, a little tipping action as we go from one side to another. And if your knees are closer to the earth, you might not tip quite as much as I do. And coming back to center, flutter the knees like little butterfly wings. Good. Simply cross the legs, bring your shins a little further forward or hips back, and then fold forward over those legs. Let the head go, the heart go, soften through the torso. You may want to bend a little bit more at the ankles and push the pinky sides of the feet into the ground. Hopefully you can feel a stretch through the outer hips. Send a breath right there. And then slowly come up. We'll take one hand to the opposite knee, doesn't matter which way you go first, for a little twist. Lift up through the heart with the inhalation. Exhale, twist back. Inhale, pulse up. Exhale, twist back. It's a subtle movement. Inhale with the breath up. Exhale back. And then unwind back through center, other side. Keep the length through the spine. So spanda means pulsation or wave. Use the wave of your breath to further the twist. And come back through center. I think we'll spend the rest of our session on our backs, so you can just roll on down. Today's class is very similar to what I do in the mornings, and I believe I'll be doing some free sessions each morning next week on my Facebook page. So if we're not Facebook friends yet, please find me and friend me and tune in the mornings for free Facebook Live yoga. From here, I'm just making circles on the ceiling with my knees to massage out the low back. Go ahead and switch directions. And And then preparing for a happy baby variation, go ahead and reach for your toes, feet, or ankles, doesn't really matter. Keep one knee bent and then stretch long for the other side. So this is kind of like what we do Skandasana, except on our backs. Then go ahead and bend that knee and stretch long through the other leg. If you can reach your feet or toes, it kind of helps to pull them down with the hands. If you can't, no big deal, just switch one leg and then the other. Good stretch of the inner thighs, compression of the hip flexors. And pull both knees up into the chest once again. Take your knees over to the right and reach your left arm up overhead, turning the gaze to the left for a spinal twist. And then we'll move through the twist on the other side. So knees slow and smooth to the left, engaging the core. Right arm up, turn the gaze to the right. Go ahead and take it slow and smooth to the other side. The slower you can move your knees up and through center, the more you're waking up that third chakra area, that place of power. Let's take it one more time to each side. Again, a slow, fluid dance if possible. Bringing the knees back to center. Plant your feet close up to your hips. And then we'll take some flowing bridges. So again, with the breath, push into the feet, lift your hips, and rainbow your arms all the way up overhead. As you come down with the hips, the hands come back down towards your sides. Move with your breath. I like to inhale as my hips lift, and exhale as my hips lower. Let the arms be graceful, almost like you're painting a big rainbow arc in the air around you. One more time up. This time go ahead and hold. Give a little tone to your butt, to your inner thighs. Stretch the arms up overhead. And then lower your hips down slowly. This time just bend your elbows and cactus open your arms. Let's rest with the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Close down your eyes. And at this point you can let go of your long, smooth, conscious breath and just let your breath be light, free, and effortless. Take this time here in this reclined cobbler's pose to reconnect with the intention you set for yourself about 40 minutes ago. Remember why you came here to your mat. And then extend your arms and legs for Shavasana. You can rest here in corpse pose. Definitely the most important part of our practice. Or if that feels not quite right for you, you can also join me in a seated meditation. If you're coming up, just roll over to the side and push up. Whether you're in corpse pose or a seat, keep your eyes closed. Breath nice and easy. Allow your body to come to stillness. Such a gift, so rare. And allow your mind to just be at ease, even if it's just for a couple minutes. Not worrying or fretting or trying to figure anything out. But just being still and restful. you're in Shavasana, you could stay there as long as you'd like, or you can roll over into your side and come up to a seat. Thank you all so much. It really means so much to me that you're here on Yoga Download for these free streaming classes. So as I said in the beginning of class, next week we're going to do something really special. As a mind-body wellness coach, I am inspired to bring something more than just the body to Yoga Download. So I'll be doing a free coaching session, which just means talking about some ways to manage your mind, your stress, to move forward after the pandemic with more lightness, freedom, power. So that will be at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time before this class next week. I think it will be recorded, so you can also watch it for about 24 hours afterwards. If you're able to come live, go ahead and bring something to take notes with and bring some questions. You can always ask me the questions in the chat. This will be a great way to reconnect, to take care of the whole self. So great to have you. Hope to see you next week. Palms come together, and together we can say Namaste. See y'all. Bye. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, Elizabeth.